Purdue Pharma, the maker of oxycontin, decided to plead guilty and pay a couple $1 billion fine to the federal authorities. Joining me now is the author of Pharma, Greed, Lies, and the Poisoning of America, Gerald Posner. Gerald, thank you for joining me. You know my story. I lost a son to an accidental opioid overdose. It likely was one of the Purdue Pharma products. They pled guilty. They're going to pay somewhere between, I don't know, $3 and $5 billion. But they made a lot more money than that, did they not?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Eric, you know, you're one of the many people who've had experienced a personal loss from this sort of devastation that OxyContin left behind in America, the most lethal prescription drug epidemic ever from opioid painkillers. And this is a single hit family, a one wonder drug family, meaning that the Sackler family owns Purdue. Their drug, when it went on sale in 1996 through 2019, had $35 billion in gross sales. The family they were wealthy beforehand, but they weren't billionaires. They became billionaires as a result just of Oxy sales. And in 2015, Forbes put them on the richest families list, calling them the, quote, Oxy clan, with a net worth of $14 billion. So this is an astonishing amount of money. And you say in the beginning, you know, the DOJ, the Justice Department, just reached a settlement. Yes, on paper, it's $8 billion, but they're going to get paid pennies on the dollar. There are 2,500 lawsuits with thousands of people all waiting as creditors to get a piece of that pie. The company had $500 million in cash. That's it. And the Sacklers, under this agreement, only had to pay $225 million. It's a disgrace so far.
And also, let's talk about some of the things that, in order to get this type of judgment, they have to be proven to be complicit, conspiratorial. Tell us what was found in this lawsuit. What were they actually doing? Some of the people who pled guilty, yet are going to see no jail time, oddly enough. What have they been accused of and admitted to doing?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know, this is really amazing. Purdue, the corporation, had to plead guilty to criminal charges for not only defrauding the federal government in all types of its own programs of Medicare and Medicaid and everything else, but also kickback schemes, for instance, to doctors, fraud, ongoing fraud and conspiracy. These are criminal acts, yet no individual, no executive, no family member, the owners of Purdue, it's a privately held company. They dominated the board. They were the presidents of the company. No individual had to plead guilty. No jail time here. And that's the real disgrace. That's the history of the pharmaceutical industry. I understand it in the sense that very seldom is there criminal time. And even in 2007, Purdue, many people forget, had pled guilty then to criminal charges of misbranding and paid a $600 million fine. 3 executives paid $30 million. That's the way it works in the pharmaceutical industry. You get a big fine. It's the cost of doing business. It reduces the amount of your profit, but you still keep your country club memberships. You don't go to prison, and that's the real hammer the government could use, but isn't.
You know, Gerald, what really, from the outside looking in, I think every American, not just someone who's had a loss, like why I have and maybe others have, but it's regular Americans looking in saying, why are billionaires being forced to pay a couple of $100 million and then being able to walk? You know what would really be effective is seeing some of these people in shackles, seeing them handcuffed and perp walked into a jail cell for a while. That may make the next Purdue Pharmaceutical family, Sackler family, that may be a deterrent for them to do something that would really make them billions of dollars and not worry about who's dying because of their product.
You're exactly right. You know, one of the things that's missing, I think, also in the pharmaceutical industry, when the conduct is really egregious and is criminal, the companies can make these pleas to guilty charges and felonies that really are calling for individuals to go to prison, and they aren't. Nobody does, as you say, the perp walk. Just recently, there was one case, Insys, which has a fentanyl product, in which they went so far out beyond the bounds of normal behavior. They were marketing this for everything. They were hiring lap dancers to come in and be the sales reps. It was just preposterous. They did go to jail. 5 executives, including the CEO of the company, who had temporarily become a billionaire from all the sales of that drug product. But that's the rare exception. And here we are with Purdue. It's the poster child for opioid abuse with OxyContin. There was no more successful drug in the last 25 years. And if they walk away from this without the federal government or state attorneys generals eventually bringing a criminal charge or a RICO Act, it would really be a shame.
Gerald Posner, let's hope you're right. And I'm looking forward to see a couple of Sacklers behind bars, because I, for one, can say I think they deserve it. Again, my opinion only. Gerald Posner, thank you.